Hi, my name is Emily, and this is my PowerPoint on the reintroduction of species. This is based on the second persuasion paper that I completed for the course. The reintroduction of species is when zoos, aquariums, and other facilities of that nature take in members of an endangered or critically endangered species. They try their best to choose the best candidates. Generally, they will try to have one or more of each gender in good health. I say try because sometimes they don't really have a choice because the species is so depleted and they kind of just have to take what they can get. Though, of course, it's looking pretty downhill already if they can at least get one male and one female. Then professionals such as vets and marine biologists create reintroduction plans to reintroduce the species to the wild. They release the animals once they believe they can both survive and thrive in their natural habitat, where they continue to repopulate their species. Currently, there are 115 reintroduction plans by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, over 40 of which are specifically for threatened, endangered, and critically endangered species. There are 39 species extinct in the wild that are alive in zoos and aquariums. These are species that are on reintroduction programs or insurance population programs. Insurance population programs are when certain members of a species are kept in zoos when their numbers are not looking up. So this just means scientists, biologists were looking at the numbers of a species. They noticed they're kind of going alarmingly downhill. So they went out, they picked some from what they could find that's left of the species. Generally, they have more options than they would for a reintroduction program. And then they start to simultaneously rebuild the species and figure out what is causing them to be extinct and try and fix it, whether it's health problems, habitat problems, predator problems, try to make a solution. This can be the only help for many species. Sometimes it's the only thing that can help them, basically. They're not going to survive out there. There's something going on. They need to be put in captivity so that they're still around and not extinct. The goal is for eventual reintroduction. So that means insurance populations are kind of like the first step. It's what comes before reintroduction. There are some downsides. It can lead to overpopulation and overbreeding. This is more specifically with insurance population programs than it is with reintroduction. This just means generally the species that we have in captivity is doing great, they're thriving, they're expanding, and then the species that's still out in nature is also doing great and thriving and expanding. So then you have two great populations, but that's going to throw off the ecosystem. It's not a sure thing. Sometimes there is no helping the species. There is no reintroducing the species. You can't always fix what's causing them to be extinct, sadly. And it also does not permanently fix the issue. In 1, 10, 100, 1,000 years, they could be going extinct again. Generally when we couldn't fix what was causing them to be extinct, such as hunting, because a lot of times, no matter how legal you make it, people still do it. There are, of course, a lot of success stories, though. So I mentioned 4. We have the scimitar oryx. They became extinct in Africa in the 1980s. This species remained alive in zoos and is now being reintroduced. The Arabian oryx became extinct when the last living member outside of captivity was shot and killed. The Phoenix Zoo led the breeding and reintroduction program, which caused over 200 calves to be born from only 9 members. Now around 1,000 live in the wild. The Californian condor had only 23 living members in the early 1980s. These 23 were placed in captivity, and more than 400 members are alive and thriving in the wild today, thanks to the San Diego Zoo. And then finally, the golden lion tamarin, which is the little guys on the right, has, after 30 years, finally been downlisted from critically endangered to endangered. 1/3 of the current population are descendants from the Reintroduction program. And that's just my works cited. So thank you for watching.